Welcome to the Wed Pro podcast, the podcast for Wed Pros no matter their stage. We are your hosts, Katie and Roxy, and this is the Wed Pro podcast.
Hey, welcome back to the Wed Pro podcast. You probably know, but it's me, Katie, and today is just a little bit of a different vibe because, again, it's just me. The girl band was only just back together and now we've been pulled apart again. Roxy is on calls all day today and we tried to make it work, but it was just one of those diary days where it was either record separately or not record at all. And we didn't want to let you guys down. The good news, though, is that we have hired a new person inside of the business, which is very exciting. So we were hoping it'll be not long before we are back together properly and recording these for you guys as a duo again. But for today, you have got me. I've got a cup of tea here today to get through this episode with you. And we're going to be diving into one of my favourite OG topics. So if you have been listening for a long time, and especially if you've been with us since 2020, you will know Instagram is one of those things I always love to dive into. And it is one of the topics that does change every single year. And it is also one of those topics where the wedding industry gets fed a lot of loud advice that just doesn't actually fit real life and real strategy. So this episode today is going to be a little bit myth busty, but absolutely practical for you guys to go away and implement inside of your business. Now, if you're currently thinking that you are posting, but it's just not translating into inquiries, or maybe you're thinking that you're too busy to keep up, or even that you're just over it, you are definitely in the right place. And just a quick note before we dive into everything, I'm not going to give you every single step of our full Instagram strategy today, because obviously it depends on your particular business, your pricing, your lead sources, inquiry process, etc. But I am going to give you exactly enough to get clarity, make some really positive changes inside of your Instagram strategy, and enable you to feel like you are back in control. So firstly, let's start with the big shift in 2026 because Instagram has a new job. It's now no longer your booking engine. And what I mean by this is it can bring you leads, yes, and it can absolutely be a part of your visibility, but it is not the whole pipeline. The job of Instagram now is trust. It's credibility. It's helping somebody decide that you are the safe choice for them. And this is especially true in the wedding industry because couples are not buying a product. They're buying that experience with you. And also they're buying peace of mind. They're wanting to check, is this person legit? Are they going to show up? Will they get my vision? Will they make this entire process feel easy? So if you're somebody that is treating Instagram like a little bit of a slot machine, maybe a little bit of post and ghost, you end up in that cycle of post, refresh, hope, and then spiral. This is exactly why Instagram isn't paying out for you. You either got a choice here, but post more and burn out, or if you're somebody that's doing that, what happens when you're busy actually doing weddings? It's very difficult to stay consistent in those times, which is normal. You're not a content creator, you're a wedding business owner. So here's the reframe for 2026. Instagram is here to do 3 jobs. Firstly, help the right people recognize themselves in your content. Secondly, help them feel safe that you can deliver. And thirdly, help them know what to do next. And if your content is not doing at least one of those 3 jobs, it's probably just noise and it's not going to get through. And that's not judgment at all. It's just a useful filter for you guys. Also, one thing, and this is something I hear constantly about the algorithm changing, and we've spoken about podcasts before, that when you get strategy right and your business model, these things don't matter. The algorithm isn't your boss. You are not a slave to the algorithm. Your business model is your boss, and Instagram and its algorithm and Facebook and the algorithm and TikTok and the algorithm are just useful tools, but they're not your boss. Okay, let's lovingly put a few things in the bin and some things to stop doing in 2026. So, number one, stop posting for other suppliers. And this is really a classic one that we do see all the time. You post something that other wedding professionals love, you get loads and loads of likes from other people inside of the industry, which is amazing because obviously it's lovely to get recognition from other wedding pros. But then maybe you wonder why you're not getting inquiries. Now, if your ideal client is a couple, your content needs to first and foremost speak to couples. Or maybe if you're a business where your ideal client is venues and planners, because they're the gatekeeper to your client, then your content needs to speak to them through that lens. And you can still build a community in the industry. I absolutely love that, and I'm all here for that, but don't confuse it with marketing. The second thing that you can stop doing in 2026 is trend chasing as a strategy. Trends can be fun, but if you're relying on trends to get booked, you're building on quicksand there. And trends often make people feel like they've got to perform. If you're busy, maybe you're not that person, maybe you're somebody that really struggles to put themselves out there and jump on to trends online, it just becomes and can become something that you fail at. And that doesn't feel good to anybody. And actually, long term, jumping on trends, unless it is fun and unless you're enjoying it and unless it serves a purpose, it's not going to do anything for your business. Okay, let's talk about consistency guilt. And this is something I do see all of the time with the professionals that we work with. People falling off the bandwagon, maybe with a little bit of posting, life gets in the way, or maybe we've got all the intention in the world of scheduling and being on top of our content strategy, but life just lives. Now, the goal here is not for you to be daily posting on Instagram at all. The goal is consistent positioning for your brand. Now, if you post twice a week, but every post makes it crystal clear who you are for, what you do, and why you are the obvious choice, that will beat 7 random posts every single time. So give yourself permission that you can slow down inside of your business. Okay, number 4, and something absolutely I see all of the time, posting without a plan, but calling it strategy. And this is where basically inside of your business, you're playing a little bit of content roulette. You're posting what you feel like and you're hoping it works. And then secretly, or maybe not so secretly, you're blaming Instagram and the algorithm when it doesn't. Now, the fix here is not for you to be posting more content. The fix here is for you to be posting clearer content. So let's actually talk about what that content looks like and what actually converts. And in 2026, I would recommend that you use 3 buckets here. And if you take nothing else from this episode, take these 3. So the first content booking is positioning. And this content bucket is all about where you are going to make it obvious who you are for and what you do differently, not just what you do. So a quick example of this would be a photographer doesn't just take photographs. They might be for the person who hates posing. They might be for the person who wants documentary style and care more about that feeling rather than perfection. A planner might be for couples who want a luxury experience, but they do not want it to feel intimidating. And a venue might be for the couple who want that weekend full experience, not just a one-day event. So positioning content sounds like, who you are best for, what you believe about weddings and experiences, what you don't do as important as what you do, the problem that you solve, and the kind of people that you work with best. The second bucket is proof. Now, proof is not just pretty photographs. Proof is outcomes. It's calm competence in you as a business owner and as you as the right wedding supplier for that couple. It is that calm confidence that when somebody lands on your page, they feel that everything is just adding up exactly how it should be. And proof content can be a real wedding with some context, not just the standard, this is what happened on the day, but actually what the couple wanted and how you delivered. Testimonials with specifics, behind the scenes showing your process, screenshots of kind words that past couples have given you, and even mini case studies where what was the challenge that happened and what did you do to overcome that challenge as well. Bucket 3 is process, and this is the one that most of you skip. Process content answers the questions people are too nervous to ask, like how do we inquire? What happens next? What is the investment range? How do you work with timelines? What do you need from me? What makes you different to the other 5 people that they are comparing? Now, when you combine positioning, proof, and process, you're removing uncertainty for your couple, and uncertainty is what kills inquiries. So if you're thinking, that you are getting likes on Instagram, but you're not getting bookings, it's usually that you're missing one of those buckets. Okay, let's talk about the biggest conversion leak that I see. People do post great content and then they don't tell anyone what to do next. Or the next step is really vague. Message me if you want to know more. Or you're whacking links that don't click anywhere and you can't copy and paste from another person's caption from Instagram. You're just wasting that call to action there. It might sound friendly, but you're making that other person do all of the work. Now, instead, what you want to try doing is you want one clear call to action that matches where your couple already is. So here are a few that work really well that you can tweak for your niche. If you're getting married in 2026 or 2027, inquire via the link in bio and tell me your date and venue. Want my availability and pricing guide? Send me the word guide. Not ready to inquire yet? Join my email list for planning tips and real wedding stories. And here's the real quick test for you. If somebody landed on your profile right now, would they know exactly that next step? Would they know where you work? Would they know what you are known for? And would they feel safe and like they're in the real right space for them? Instagram cannot do the heavy lifting here if your inquiry process is messy. Instagram is like the front door into your business, and then your inquiry process really is your sales team inside of your business. And I will do a full episode on that in the future because it's where so many bookings are won or lost between those two. But let me give you a quick reset right now that you can do this week, especially if bookings are feeling slow for you. And you can do this even though we might be in the midst of engagement season. And even if you're somebody a little bit like me and Roxy at the minute, and you have got no time. Okay, firstly, day 1, look at your last 10 posts. Which bucket do they fall in? Are they positioning, proof, or process? Now, if it's all pretty and no context, you need more positioning and more process. Day 2, go and have a look at your bio. Make sure that it is answering 3 things: who you're for, where you are, and what you want your couple to do next. Day 3, create one proof post with context, not just a photo dump of the entire wedding, but tell the story. Day 4, create one process post. Explain simply what happens after somebody inquires. Day 5, add one clear call to action to every single one of your stories for the next 7 days. Day 6, follow up with any warm leads you already have. Do not just post more content. You want to look at converting what is already there. So go and have a look at your analytics. Who's liking, who's engaging with your stories, and who can you spark conversations with? And then day 7, pick one partnership action. So a venue, a planner, another supplier, one message, one coffee, one connection. And that's it. That is 7 days, but actually how you build momentum inside of your business without burning out. Okay, if you are listening to this and thinking you want this to feel simpler, you want to know what to post, and you want it to actually lead to bookings, this is exactly what we do dive more into inside WordPro CEO. We look at your positioning, your content strategy, and the entire system around it, like your inquiry process, your lead sources. So Instagram stops being the thing you panic about. Now, if you want to have a chat, DM us the word Instagram and we will point you to the best next step, or check the links in the show notes for how to work with us. In the next episode or so, I'll go deeper on the inquiry process as your sales team there. And if this episode has helped you slightly, do share it with another wedding business friend who is currently. And if this episode has helped, please do share it with a wedding business friend as well. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leave a quick review. It really does help us, and it helps more wedding business owners to find this podcast. That's it. Go and make Instagram lighter. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the WedPro podcast. Full transcribes of this episode, plus every other episode we have done, are available at www.theweddingbusinesshub.com/blogs. Thanks so much for listening. If you do have any questions about this episode or anything else at all, you can email us at info@theweddingbusinesshub.com. And if you are loving our episodes, which I know you are, make sure you hit the subscribe or follow button so you can stay updated with any new episodes that land. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.